Buckle up, watch fans. Today we're taking a look at 5 amazing watches under $500. Welcome back to the channel for Right Time Watches here in Denver, Colorado. Today we're going to mix it up a little bit by sharing 5 different watches with you, all of them under the $500 price point. Each one of these has something intriguing about it, but before we dig into all of that, we'll invite you to subscribe to our channel so you catch all of our upcoming videos. Within the walls of the Right Time shop, we've got tons of different brands that represent this sub $500 category quite well. Today we're taking a look at one watch from several different brands so that we don't have too much overlap, though we really could spend more time in this sub $500 category. Today we've got a heavy Japanese influence, obviously, because they're the kings of affordable watchmaking, with Seiko, Citizen, Casio, and then we've got Bulova and Hamilton as well. Let's start things off with this fantastic pilots-inspired chronograph from Citizen. This is the Citizen Garrison Super Titanium, and as you might guess, the key feature of this watch is a titanium case and bracelet. That's a really beneficial feature because this is a larger wristwatch at 44 millimeters in diameter, but because of that slimmer case profile and the titanium construction, this watch wears extremely well. You also get nice specifications here as you've got a highly functional chronograph and a flat sapphire crystal for sub $500. I really enjoy the all satin texture and finish on this watch as it really gives a subdued look for a larger timepiece. Of course, being from Citizen, this watch has the reliable Eco-Drive movement inside, which is powered by any light source and will run for so many years. This is a great, reliable timekeeping companion. This does have a pressed metal clasp, so it doesn't have quite as premium of a feel, but again, in titanium, this is very acceptable. We've got a $475 price tag, but this one will set you back just $380 at our online store right now at righttime.com. I think this watch is really intriguing at this price point because it represents a perfect grab-and-go option that's very comfortable on the wrist. This one will be ready to rock as soon as you put it on because of that solar movement. Up next, we've got the Hamilton Khaki Mechanical. It would be hard to make a list like this for great watches under $500 without including this Swiss masterpiece. This represents an incredible value from one of our favorite Swatch Group brands in Hamilton. This watch has a very timeless look, extremely wearable dimensions at 38 millimeters, a sapphire crystal, a sandblasted case with easy to access spring bars through the drilled lugs on the side, and of course, a hand-wound mechanical movement inside manufactured by ETA with an 80-hour power reserve. Frankly, it's quite obvious why so many newer collectors end up having one of these at one point or another. It's an incredible value for the money, and you really get a great watch without shelling out too much cash. This one barely squeaks into sub $500 as we've got a retail price of $495. So this is one of the more expensive on the list, but that being said, we've been over the features. We know why this is a great watch for the money. Now I've got a large 8-inch wrist, so this particular model isn't the perfect fit for me, but so many others have a more normal-sized wrist, quite frankly, and this fits extremely well for them. And even here on my 8-inch wrist, it doesn't look terribly out of place. The NATO strap is a great match for this, and really creates a very enjoyable wearing experience on this Hamilton. Up next, we have this fantastic Seiko Presage Negroni cocktail. This watch was hard to choose because there are so many amazing mechanical watches from Seiko at this price point, but I think this one might be my favorite of the bunch. One of the greatest value propositions that come from getting a Seiko watch like this is that you get a dial that is finished well beyond the price category. This is a gorgeous dress watch with a polished finish and a domed crystal, and of course we have a see-through case back, which is great because oftentimes this sub $500 category is for a newer collector, and seeing that movement, even with a bit of decoration on this particular model, is such a blessing to a new collector. I already mentioned the dial, but this closer look really gives you an idea of how much time, attention, and detail went into the manufacturing of this watch dial. I really love the silver-toned indices as they balance out this dark crimson red with a gorgeous texture. This model has an attractive leather strap with a great deployant buckle on the underside and comes in at just $425 US. This Seiko watch really fits the brand ethos of creating attainable luxury mechanical watches, this one having the 4R35 automatic movement inside. This is a great entryway into mechanical timekeeping for the new collector. That being said, this watch from Seiko represents such an incredible value that it makes sense for even a more seasoned collector to add to their collection. $425 for this beautiful timepiece is just a slam dunk in my opinion. Next up, we take a look at a watch from Bulova, which comes from their Lloyd Wright collection. If you haven't seen this collection from Bulova, it's a really great group of watches with amazing architectural influence from the famed architect. If you were to purchase this particular watch, not only do you get a really high quality and well-made mechanical timepiece for an incredible price, but you also support the Lloyd Wright Foundation, which has its mission deeply ingrained in preservation and education efforts for America's architectural future and past. Coming from Bulova, this watch is equipped with a Miyota 8000 series automatic movement. This movement is nothing too crazy, but it's very reliable and well known and easy to service. At this price point, you make one sacrifice or another, so for this model we have a mineral crystal instead of a sapphire, though it looks incredible and should still be plenty durable, especially for a dress watch like this. This watch comes on a soft black leather strap and comes in at $425 US. If you're more a fan of the unique when it comes to your wristwatches, this would be an incredible option, as it's something that not everybody would have and definitely makes a statement when on your wrist. That being said though, this is easily wearable at 39 millimeters in diameter and fits great on the majority of wrists. You can see how it looks here on my 8-inch wrist. It would be a great fit for so many. It's also not so bold that it wouldn't be comfortable for somebody to wear on the daily if this were their first timepiece. Last but certainly not least on a list of watches under $500, we've got this fantastic Casio Pro-trek. I know people like to look at a more traditional G-Shock oftentimes, but this watch represents such a ridiculous value and functionality considering the price. This is a quartz-powered watch, but that gives you the opportunity to have so much functionality packed into a small affordable package. This one has a digital compass, an altimeter, a barometer, a thermometer, world time, and a countdown timer, along with a battery level indicator. Trying to get functionality like that out of a mechanical timepiece not only is nearly impossible, but you'd be talking about a price tag that cost a small fortune. This one, however, comes in at just $350 US. Now, sometimes what you give up with a watch packed with this much functionality is truly the ability to look nice. But this watch is actually quite attractive. They did a great job packing all these features into different spaces on the dial without becoming overcluttered or unpleasing to the eye. This watch is rather large at 51 millimeters in diameter, but that's part of the package when you get this much functionality all wrapped up into one timepiece. It's still quite wearable, especially for me with a larger 8-inch wrist, considering it's very light and we have this nice cloth strap. I know many young enthusiasts are really caught up on getting into mechanical timekeeping, but don't count this out. If you ever feel overwhelmed in your search for an affordable yet still impressive wristwatch, I hope a video like this really helps you take a look at what options might be out there for you, as there are a lot more than you might think. If you're in the market for a fantastic watch at a very affordable price point, I hope this video gave you something to think about with 5 fantastic models. If you'd like to purchase any of these, feel free to reach out to us at wrighttime.com or give us a call. We're always happy to help. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time at Wright Time.